You've heard of a man called Alexander the Great. We have all heard of Alexander the Great. One of the greatest military generals we have ever had in 13 BC. And he died at the age of 32. He inherited the throne from his father in Greece at the age of 16. His father was assassinated, then he inherited the throne. When Alexander the Great was poisoned, on his deathbed, he made a wish. These generals came and said, "You're dying. What are you putting in your will?" This is what he told them. He told them that I have 3 wishes. That when I die, all my wealth, all the wealth I've accumulated in all my conquests, trying to take over other kingdoms, I want it to be laid on the road towards my graveyard. Number 2, I want when you put me in my coffin, I want you to put my hands outside hanging. Number 3, I want you to get the best doctors in Greece to be the ones to carry my coffin. And then the general was saying, "What does that mean? We thought you were going to tell us to carry your wealth and give it to your son." Then he explained and said, "I want my people that have led for the last 12 years to understand that however wealthy you become, however rich you become, however much wealth you amass, it's going to remain here." So he said, "I want you to spread that and show people that I did go with that wealth." So when they are working, they should understand that whatever you're working for, whatever you're killing for, whatever you're struggling to kill your father for so that you have that land, you're not going to go with it. It is going to stay. And then they asked him, "What about the hands?" Yes, to show that as proof to my people that there's nothing I'm even hiding in my hands. All the wealth is down. And they say, "What about the doctors? Why do you want the best doctors to carry you?" I want you to show them that however much wealth you have, when death comes, it does not care how much wealth you have, how much conquest you've carried, how many battles you've won. He's the only general in human history who never lost a war. Alexander the Great never ever lost any war. Yet he led the conquest for 12 years. These are lessons we must learn as young people. That when you want to provide leadership, focus on your basic needs. Can you get where to sleep? Can you feed yourself? If you want a vehicle, can you get a modest vehicle to move you around? Why do you need 3 bungalows? Why do you need 10 houses? Focus on service. That is what leadership is about. The lesson we learned from Alexander the Great is that these things eventually remain. And in fact, sometimes your children don't get them because your brothers and your sisters make sure they take all that wealth from your own children. So let's focus on our basics. Let's focus on giving back to society, because that is what people will remember us for. That is what we are going to remember you for, not how much you had. That is not going to stay for long. We are going to remember Martin Luther King because of what they did. We remember Alexander the Great because of that statement he made. We are remembering Mandela, 27 years in prison. You ran 1 term, 4 years. Who of you don't do 4 years? I would not do 4 years.
But he was old.
Even if I'd done 27 years in prison, I would want to be the president for life. But you see, there are people with humility that have showed that it is possible to give back to society. And this is the spirit that we want you to go with. That it is possible for you to make a contribution. But also, very finally, I want you to understand that our times have changed. That for you to make a good contribution, you must live long. It is different. The Martin Luthers had one issue, racism. The Nkrumahs had one issue. We want independence. We have too many issues. We have poverty, we have disease, we have rape, we have all these problems. Unemployment, we have HIV/AIDS. You need to live long to be able to have an impact on society. That means it is important how you behave, how you socialize. It is important that if you're going to have a social interaction, you protect yourself. It is important if you want to live long. It is important that these things you take them very seriously as young people. That you do not get pregnant and attempt to abort. You need to plan for that pregnancy. It is important that you plan for these things because our politics needs you to live longer to have an impact. On behalf of KIC, I'd like to thank you all very much for the time you've spared to be here. And I'd like to thank you all very much for being attentive. And I wish that from here we go back and preach that we need to fight the perception about young people. We need to show people that we are responsible, that we can be leaders, and that you do not sit back when they insult the youth in your presence. You must prove to people that they are successful youth, they are responsible youth, and they are youth that are making a difference in this country. So no one should come with a blanket statement and say youth are irresponsible, youth are not hardworking, youth are not serious. We must be the champions of defending ourselves in this country. Thank you very much.